It's not too late to make a change. I don't care how old you are or what stage you're in. Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention podcast, a podcast helping women in career and life transitions achieve clarity on their next steps so they can transform uncertainty into an energizing next chapter. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and the founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. If you're wondering what's next in your career or life, you are in the right place. Through solo and guest episodes, you'll gain practical tips, tools, and inspiration to help you uncover blocks, gain confidence, and be, do, and have what you want. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Have you ever wondered, is this really it for me? Discover why it's never too late to reinvent your career and create a life that excites and fulfills you. As we step into a new year, many of us reflect on our lives, careers, and purpose. If you've been feeling stuck or uninspired or unsure of what's next, this episode offers a clear, actionable roadmap to rediscover your passions and transition into a career that aligns with your strengths, values, and passions. In this episode, you'll learn the 6-step process to confidently reinvent your career at any age, including how to identify your unique Ikigai or reason for being, proven strategies to overcome the fears and energy blocks that hold you back, and how to build confidence through small, intentional actions that lead to big transformations. So enjoy this episode and take the first step towards a career that works for you starting today. Hi, my friend, and welcome back to another episode of the Midlife Reinvention podcast. I'm so glad you're here. It's the start of a new year, and maybe you're taking stock of your life, your career, your relationships, your health. If you're like many women that I work with, you might be wondering, is this really it? Is this all there is for me? Let me tell you something important. It's not too late to make a change. I don't care how old you are or what stage you're in. You can create a career that excites you, fulfills you, and fits into the life you want. In today's episode, I'm going to break down the exact steps to reinvent your career based on what worked for me and for so many others that I've worked with. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that this is a topic close to my heart because I've been through this process myself. If you're new to this podcast, welcome. And I hope the steps that I get into today will help you move forward. I was in a long-term and successful corporate pharmaceutical sales career for 25 years, which at the time when I started and even into my 30s and 40s was very fulfilling and rewarding. However, around the time I turned 50, things began to shift for me, where I began to hear my inner voice asking me, is this it? Is this what I wanted to do for the rest of my life? I had fears. What was I going to do and how was I going to do it? Because I felt at the time that I wasn't qualified to do anything else. I am a testament to the fact that those fears should not stop us. That is why I'm here every week to share my story, and that is why I interview other women with their own reinvention stories to stress to you that it is possible. Despite, and even in fact, with those fears you have present, it is possible. With the right mindset and determination and steps, you can create a fulfilling path forward. So how do you do that? This is the process I have used and I've since led countless other women through. The first step is to acknowledge where you are. Be honest with yourself. If your current career isn't serving you, if it feels draining or uninspiring or just plain wrong, it's time to acknowledge that. It's okay to outgrow your career or feel that something is missing. It doesn't mean you failed. It just means you're ready for a new chapter. If you don't first acknowledge that it's okay to feel like your current situation is not working, it's really hard to move on. Here are two questions I often ask my clients to reflect on during transitions. The first one is, what is it time to let go of in my own life right now? What is it time to let go of in my own life right now? It could be your beliefs, your fears, the job you've been hanging on to for so many years, maybe habits formed or relationships that don't work anymore. Be honest with yourself and ask yourself that question. The next big question is, what is standing backstage in the wings of my life waiting to make its entrance? What is standing backstage in the wings of my life waiting to make its entrance? What is that little voice telling you? Why do you think it's there? You can ignore it, which is what I tried to do for many years, but now is the time to listen to it. Your inner being or your inner mentor is wise, and if there's something waiting to make its entrance into your life, she will guide you towards it. Letting go can be hard, especially when it involves beliefs like, I'm not good enough or it's too late for me, but letting go clears the way for new opportunities. The second step is to let yourself dream. Once you've acknowledged where you are, it's time to start imagining where you want to go. Ask yourself, what have I always wanted to do? What's been tugging at me, but I've been too scared or too busy to pursue it? This is where visualization can help. One of the exercises I do with my clients is called the inner mentor visualization. And this is where you meet your future self 20 years from now, who's already figured it out. She has the wisdom and clarity you need to move forward. Do you have a clear vision or even a vague idea of what you might want to do? Can you picture yourself in 20 years? What have you accomplished? Who have you served? And what impact have you made? What do you look like? Where do you live? Who are you surrounded by? It's so important to have that vision of your inner mentor because once you have it, and if you falter, and trust me, you will, you can use her as a guiding light forward. If you want to hear this visualization exercise, go back to episode 166. And if you'd like to receive your own download of this exercise, simply email me at kavita@itsmytimenowcoaching.com. The third step is to rediscover who you are. Come into the present moment and think about you and really rediscover who you are. Reinvention doesn't mean throwing everything away and starting from scratch. It's about taking what's already great about you and building upon it. And here's how. First, identify your strengths. What are you naturally good at? What skills have you built over the years? You have accumulated a wealth of knowledge and experience. It's not all lost. How can you use that towards a thing that you want to transition into? The second thing is to reconnect with your passions. What lights you up? What makes time fly by when you're doing it? Once you identify your passions, you'll see how much anabolic or positive energy gets created in your life to move you forward and bring forward so many possibilities. Is it, for example, art you've always wanted to pursue, or music, or writing, teaching, learning languages, or traveling? Again, allow yourself the opportunity to dream. And the third thing is to clarify your values. What's most important to you right now? And how can your career reflect that? For example, maybe you value creativity or helping others. How can you bring that into the work you do every day that will give you fulfillment? Is it perhaps serving others, maybe making the planet a better place, improving your own health and wellness? Then ask yourself, what does the world need that I can help with? It could be your community or even the greater community around you. Is it women you want to help? Children? The elderly? Do you want to get into politics or public service or charity work? Be open to the possibilities that show up for you, my friend. The fourth step is to define your reason for being or Ikigai. And once you know your strengths, your passions, and your values, the next step is to figure out how they intersect. Again, a great tool I use with my clients and I've learned about often, or I've talked about often here, I should say, is to determine your Ikigai or reason for being. So, this is a Japanese term and it was discovered in one of the blue zones of Okinawa, Japan. And that people in that area lived there into their 100s because they followed the concept of Ikigai, which lies at the intersection of four elements. The first is what you love. The second is what you're good at. The third is what the world needs. And the fourth is what you can be paid for. When you figure this out, it creates a huge sense of purpose that makes every step forward more meaningful and clear. By identifying your Ikigai, you'll create a real sense of purpose. This can guide your decisions and help you align your career with your strengths, passions, and values. Again, remember reinventing your career doesn't mean starting over. It means taking the best parts of who you are and building upon them. The fifth step, after determining your Ikigai, is to uncover what may be blocking you from moving forward. And these are called energy blocks. Work through your blocks. Even with a clear purpose, it's normal to feel stuck. And here are some common things that hold us back. The first are your gremlins or your inner critics. Those are the voices that say you're not good enough in one way or the other. The second one is assumptions. Thoughts like, I failed before, so I'm going to fail again. The third energy block are interpretations, where we interpret situations or events or people that often in a negative way, which often is not true. And the fourth are limiting beliefs or ideas like, I'm too old or I don't have the right skills. The key is to notice these blocks, challenge them, and replace them with more supportive and positive thoughts. These fears or energy blocks or obstacles are often where most people falter. They allow these beliefs to stop them, and I don't want that for you. Fears will always be there, and we can't grow unless we take action despite these fears. Often, this is where an outside guide can help you because, firstly, it's very difficult to understand what fears may be blocking you. And secondly, how do you even go about removing them? This is where, again, it may be important to seek outside help through coaches or mentors or outside communities because we don't want to let the fears stop you, do we? So we all have these blocks, but the key is to identify and challenge them, replace them with empowering beliefs that move you forward. And the sixth step is to build confidence through action. Dreaming and planning are great, but nothing changes until you take action. And the only way to gain confidence is to take action. You can't simply dream. You need to start taking small and practical steps. For example, ask yourself, what's the first small step I can take today? Do I want to start this as a side hustle, perhaps, or go all in? And what practical things like finances or networking or skill building do I need to address? Taking action builds confidence, and even small steps will help you feel more in control and closer to your goals. Once you've got this foundation, it's time to get practical. These are things like evaluating your finances or researching opportunities in your desired field, also networking with people who can help you, and updating things like your resume or your LinkedIn profile to reflect your new direction. So these steps may feel daunting, but with a clear purpose or ikigai established and small, steady actions, they're completely achievable. And also to keep the vision of your inner mentor inside of you and front and center. She's already been through the fears and hurdles and knows what's possible for you. So, again, my friend, reinventing your career isn't about making one giant leap. It's about taking consistent and intentional steps towards a future that feels right for you. And if you're feeling stuck or unsure where to start, I'd love to help. My coaching program is designed to guide you through this process step by step, following my pyramid of reinvention process, which I use in my coaching program to guide my clients through career and life transitions. So let's work together to make this your best year yet. You can book a complimentary breakthrough coaching session with me today. You simply email me at kavita at itsmytimenowcoaching.com. That's Kavita, Kavita, at itsmytimenowcoaching.com. Thanks for spending this time with me today. And remember, it's not too late and you're not too old. It's your time now.